This is Charlestown at the turn of the 18th century. From above, it looks deliberate, ordered, confident. A small English city pressed tightly between river and marsh, its walls drawn not just in brick and timber, but in fear, ambition, and calculation. Nothing here is accidental. The Cooper River curves beside the settlement like a watchful presence. At dawn, its surface is broken by masts, so many masts that the harbor resembles a forest growing from water. Rigging creaks in the morning breeze. Hulls knock gently against one another. This is not a frontier village. This is a port built for extraction. Tar, timber, deer hides, rice seed, human bodies. Charlestown exists because the Atlantic demands it. Inside the walls, the ground tells its own story. The streets are not paved with stone, but with crushed oyster shell and packed sand. Wagon ruts cut deep and fill with mud after every rain. Each step reminds you that the land beneath the city is unstable, half earth, half water. The houses are narrow, tall, and close together. The single house, with its gable end facing the street, is not a style choice, it is climate control. Windows on both sides pull the humid air through like lungs. Survival here depends on airflow as much as architecture. The air itself carries warnings. At low tide, the river retreats and reveals pluff mud, dark, sulfurous, alive. The smell lingers. Insects rise from it. Disease is not understood as bacteria or parasites. It is understood as air, bad air, miasma. So the city breathes carefully. The docks never sleep. Men move barrels of pine resin, tar boiling in iron pots, smoke rising thick and sticky. Rope pulleys scream under strain. Timber from the hinterlands is stacked and measured. Deer hides are bundled and inspected by touch alone. This is an economy built on the forest and the marsh, and on people who are not free. Chains clink softly near the water's edge. Feet move in guarded lines. No faces are shown, but the meaning is unmistakable. Enslaved Africans are present everywhere and nowhere. They are labor without acknowledgement, wealth without recognition. The contradiction is foundational. On Broad Street, silk coats brush against rough wool. Plantation owners move past dock laborers. Authority and exhaustion share the same narrow paths. This city depends on both, yet honors only one. The walls rise close around it all. Brick, timber, and earth form a defensive ring. Men patrol the ramparts with muskets. Powder barrels are stacked within arm's reach. Cannons stare outward towards the horizon. Spanish sails are always imagined even when the sea is empty. Charlestown is never at rest. Vigilance is permanent. Beyond the walls, the world is wild. Oak forests heavy with Spanish moss press close. Marshland stretches outward, difficult to cross, impossible to farm. The west gate opens and closes like a valve, controlling what enters and what stays out. Deerskin traders arrive from the interior. Bundles are inspected carefully. The frontier pushes inward while the city holds firm. Inside, order is performed daily. St. Philip's Church anchors Broad Street, its wooden structure asserting Anglican authority in a humid land that resists permanence. Nearby, taverns spill sound into the streets, laughter, argument, deals made over tankards. Disease lingers like a memory. Black mourning cloths hang on doorways. Men pass more quietly here. No one names the sickness. Naming does not protect you from it. Militia drills continue regardless. Muskets are loaded and reloaded. Commands echo off the walls. Readiness is ritual. As evening approaches, the harbor changes tone. The shouts fade. Rigging sways more gently. Lanterns glow on decks. The tide turns. From the ramparts, the city looks fragile. A tight grid of light surrounded by darkness, marsh, and forest. A European idea held together by discipline and fear. When the drawbridge rises at the west gate, Charlestown seals itself in. Guards take their posts. The wilderness waits just beyond. This city believes it can control what flows through it: goods, people, power. It is wrong. But for now, the walls still hold. Night settles over Charlestown slowly. The harbor darkens first. Lantern light flickers across water and hulls. Rigging whispers in the breeze. The city's sounds soften, but they never disappear. Even at rest, this place is working, breathing, calculating, listening. Inside the walls, the drawbridge rises with a low groan of wood and iron. Chains tighten. The gate closes. Charlestown seals itself like a chest holding valuables that can never truly be secured. Beyond the gate, the forest remains awake. Spanish moss sways from ancient oaks. Insects hum in the marsh. Somewhere out there are people the city depends on and fears. Traders, allies, enemies. The boundary is thin, and everyone knows it. Along the ramparts, guards walk the wall in practiced silence. Muskets rest against brick. Cannon barrels cool after a day in the sun. The men watch the horizon, not because something is there, but because one day it will be. Charlestown exists under constant threat, yet it thrives on risk. At dawn, the city opens again. The Cooper River comes alive as if nothing happened overnight. Masts creak, sails are adjusted, barges edge toward the wharves. The tide returns, covering the pluff mud and hiding its rot beneath a mirror of moving water. Dockside chaos resumes instantly. Barrels roll, timber scrapes against stone, tar pots bubble again, their smoke rising thick and black. Men shout orders in overlapping languages, English, French, African tongues carried across the Atlantic by force. At the edge of the docks, chains reappear. Labor is organized with brutal efficiency. Bodies move cargo. Cargo becomes profit. Profit becomes land, power, and political voice. The system feeds itself without pause. Inside the city, Broad Street presents a different face. Here, the mud thins. Houses stand taller. Fences are straighter. Order is visible. Men in better cloth move more slowly, their confidence rooted in ownership of land, of people, of futures not shared equally. St. Philip's Church watches over this street like a moral anchor. Its presence suggests stability, righteousness, inevitability. Inside, the air is still. Empty benches absorb light through narrow windows. Faith here is not loud, it is structural. But the city's contradictions seep through every crack. Step one street away from Broad, and the order loosens. Alleys narrow, courtyards close in. Disease memory lingers on doorways marked with black cloth. The city has not forgotten loss, it has only learned to step around it. Taverns near the docks fill again by mid-morning. Sailors, traders, men who are half merchants, half pirates. Deals are struck over drink.
Information travels faster here than on any official road. Who is arriving? Who is leaving? Which empire is moving its pieces? The Spanish are never named, yet always present. Along the walls, militia drills continue. Powder is checked, shot is counted. Cannon embrasures frame the horizon like narrowed eyes. The city's defenses are not just military, they are psychological. Charlestown must believe it can protect itself. Outside the walls, trade from the interior arrives. Deerskin bundles pass through the west gate under watchful eyes. Creek and Cherokee traders move carefully, their posture shaped by experience. Negotiations are quiet, deliberate. Value is assessed by touch, weight, smell. Paper means little here. Trust is fragile. The gate closes behind them. Inside, the skins are stacked in guarded yards, another resource added to the city's ledger, another reason for someone else to covet this place. As the sun lowers, shadows stretch across Broad Street. The single houses catch the breeze exactly as designed. Air moves, people endure. But endurance is not the same as security. Disease still waits in the heat. Rebellion still simmers beneath forced labor. Empires still circle offshore. The wilderness still presses inward. Charlestown is not finished, it is exposed. At dusk, the walls glow briefly in warm light. Guards return to their posts. Lanterns flicker on the ramparts. The drawbridge rises again, sealing the city inside itself. From above, the outpost looks small, a grid of light surrounded by marsh, forest, and water. A fragile experiment built on extraction, fear, and ambition. A place convinced it can control the forces it has unleashed. It cannot. But tonight, the gates are closed, the walls still stand, and Charlestown survives one more day.